Zeke, let's get this patio done, bro. Come on, let's go. Let's lead the way. Yeah. So we get this nasty old deck up here. Had a pretty nice slab poured last year, but I never got around to finishing the rest of it. So we're going to tear off that old decking. We're going to leave the joists, posts, put a beam up there, and put in a Trex Rain Escape system. Let's get these beams up. Got the old decking off. I'm missing a 2x8 up here. Cut that one too short, so I'm gonna have to go buy another one. Now this is an unconventional way to put a beam up, but hey, I'm working with what I got. Now, generally, you could put it on this outside here, but that's not gonna support the joists at all because they pretty well stop flush with this face over here. So we put one in there and then laminated a second in between each post. To be honest with you, kind of like this open look, but I want to be able to use the grill, set up a bar top out here, and that's not going to do much for us in the rain. So already spent the money on the trough system. We'll go ahead and do it. We'll be back tomorrow for that. I had good intentions, kids. We're going to try to catch the whole process, but it's just not easy to set this up, and I had to get some help. So we're balancing on these joists, trying to get this rain escape system down. And, you know, we're moving at a pretty good pace. It's really hot. I'm not going to ask the guys to stop just so I can set up a camera shot. Same thing with the decking. I did it mostly by myself. So I had to move walkboards, get these down until I finally had enough that I could stand on. At that point, I'm just in a hurry. I want it done. My back hurt, my knees hurt, sunburnt. Didn't get any great video of that. What we'll do is set up some little mini demos and show you how to do the rain escape system. A little brief overview on using these hidden fasteners on the composite decking, and let's just do that right now. Okay, so the rain escape system. First thing is your downspout. So I've already cut this out here. It has 4 marked sections. You can see that perforation there. So you're going to cut this basically depending on your joist spacing. So this is a 16-inch on center mock up here, and I've cut out this perforation on the longer edge. If this were 12 inches on center, you'd cut this one out. So let's just imagine, for the sake of this demonstration, this is going to be the end of your deck. Over there is your rim joist, and you're going to have your overhang or cantilevers here. So this is going to go on the end of your deck where your drainage is going to be. You put a line of caulk on your joists and your band board. Set this down. Put a few staples in it to secure it. So after you've done that, you've got the membrane itself for the trough. And the instructions recommend you lay this out, maybe fold it in a V to help make it. We did that. Seemed like it made things a little easier to shape it. You're going to notice there's 2 different lines on this. I know the lighting's not great, but you can kind of see that line right there. There are 2 lines. On the left side, it's 1.5 inches all the way down. On the right side, it starts wider at the top and narrows as you come down. You want the shiny side up. You're going to start on the left. So you're going to put your end underneath your flashing up against the house or the edge of the deck. So this will slide up under the flashing. And then you're going to line this line up with the inner aspect of the joist. So you get that lined up, put a few staples in it, keeping it straight. And then you're going to use this line and match it up with the joist. So you're starting on the left, moving to the right. So if you follow this line, keep it adjusted and lined up with the edge of your joist, it will automatically create a downslope in it. So the water is running in that direction. Now on the ends here, you're going to cut a little flap about a 1/2 inch deep this way and fold it down. And that'll allow the water to just drip down so it's not leaching up underneath. And you probably don't need to bring it out this far. Maybe, you know, just midways. So maybe have your trough end about midways through the downspout. And that's pretty much it. You're going to work to the left from this point forward. So you're going to line on the next one, you would line up your left line, go back over, and you'll have your overlap on the right side. And you'll have to trim that down a little bit before you put a strip of this butyl tape all the way down that seam to cover it up. This is going to help secure the screw holes when you fasten your decking down. So let's talk about that. Now this is not going to be extensive here. We're not going to get real in depth. Got a little piece of scrap. And I'm just going to show you the system I'm using. Now I've used multiple systems on these composite boards. I've used them all in conjunction. This is your starter piece for your first run of decking. To be honest with you, I haven't used these because, I don't know, they're just annoying to put down and keep square. So if you're going to use these, the edge of your decking over here, which would be up against your house or the wall or whatever, it's going to be really hard or actually impossible to get this other hidden fastener in there. So you're going to want to start with these. And basically, you're going to screw this down to your joists. And then you slide your decking in. Just like so. That secures your first run on the back side. So then you can go in between the boards with these. So they fit right in there. And then you would put your second run through here. Now what I've done to start these is used either this camo system, which again is not that great because it comes with a handle, and the handle will usually not fit between the edge of the board and the wall. So I've been securing with these. Cortex makes these fasteners, and they come with a bit, and you're going to drive it. Actually, it self-countersinks. You're going to drive it into the board, and it comes with a strip, which is actually pretty handy, because in the past when I used these, it didn't have this strip. They were just loose in a bag. But this little strip of plugs is color matched to this specific, it's called saddle, this specific color. So you're going to put this down in the hole, hammer it in, and pull the strip off way quicker than in the past when they were just loose in a bag. But anyway, that's how I started my row. So once you've got the first row started, you've got everything squared up, you're going to come in with the Trex hidden fasteners at every joist and slide it in like this. Now you're only going to drive this in partially because you're going to slide the next piece into that. Once you've got this second piece slid under here, you start this again on the opposite side of that, and that's when you can fully fasten this one down. So let's just imagine, for the sake of this demonstration, because I already policed all my scrap and I only have this one. So we would put this in a previous row, partially secure it, and then we slide the next one in, which is a lot easier said than done, especially if your deck's not perfectly level. But you'll figure it out. You wrestle it in there, and then you put your second row on that board. Partially fasten this, and once it's partially driven in, you can fully fasten these down. So you're just going to do that for every board you put down. Now you can use those camo systems, which are actually pretty handy. They come with a handle, and basically get your spacing pretty well perfect. It drives to the board at an angle down here, and they hide pretty well. Here's an example right there. I don't know if you can see that screw hole, but they're not quite as hidden as some of the others. You can just barely see that fastener down in there. And then I have some examples here of the plugs, which speaks to how difficult they are to find. Oh, here we go. Right there. That's one of the color match plugs. So multiple ways to do it. I really like the Trex hidden fastener. It is a little iffy. They get loose over time. But this composite stuff expands a lot and they get super hot. So I don't know how great it would be to secure the entire surface down with just solid countersunk screws. It's probably going to warp. I don't know. They've worked for me. This other deck's been here for like 3 years now. Not really moving all that much. But that's what we're doing up here. Let's get back to the rest of it. What? He's on drugs, you don't know. Hey! I don't see any wet spots under here yet. So that's that, and this is the decking so far. Got some issues with the joists that we're going to have to deal with. And obviously, we got some serious problems here with the siding. We'll fix that. Don't worry about it. It's old stuff. Yeah, we've skipped ahead a lot. I realize that. I get it. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to catch all this stuff, man. Let's go down here and take a look at the beam real quick, and then we're going to try to put a gutter up. And I literally have no idea how to do that, so let's do it. Also, another little point of pride here. This is my entire waste pile. 260 square feet of deck. And this is all the waste that I managed. Pretty pumped about that. Anyway, beam is up, as you can see. And this is the underside of the Rain Escape system. Let's zoom you in here so you can see these downspouts. For each joist spacing, we've got a downspout. Except for the last one, because it was very small. We just kind of ran the plastic flat over that. Next step is to run a gutter in there. I don't know how to put a gutter up. I've never put a gutter up. I've done almost no research on it. Really, the only thing I've done is Googled, how should I space the hangers? So we'll see how this goes. And you could have somebody do this for sure. The best thing to do is to have a continuous gutter. I have been on a wait list for a local gutter company to come and clean out my gutters, fix some downspouts, put up some guards. It's been since last year, so I'm not going to wait for them to show up and have them run me a big gutter here. We'll just do it ourselves. Got some cheap stuff from Lowe's. Got a 5-inch gutter here, white aluminum. It's all going to be covered anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're going to run it up through here. This is how an idiot puts up a gutter by himself. Let's do it. Alright, so the first thing we need to do here is plan this out. Now, on the end down here, I have some buried pipe somewhere along this region that drains over the hill for the rest of the gutter. So I'm going to put my downspout down there. So what we want is to have a slope. Basically, this end should be higher than this end where the downspout is, so that the water will drain downhill in that direction. Ideally, you're going to want a 1/2 inch slope for every 10 feet of gutter. So over here, kind of made a line already where I want my gutter at, and I've gone every 10 feet and marked another line a 1/2 inch shorter every 10 feet. Basically, we're covering 26 feet here. It's going to drop 1.25 inches. Yeah, 1.25 inches total. You could just snap a chalk line across this too, but hey, I'm here by myself. I just made marks every 10 feet so we know where to line them up. We got that planned out roughly. So now we need to put the end cap on this piece here. This is the left side. You're going to use the left end cap. These are K-type gutters. I don't know what that means. Maybe because it looks like a K. I don't know. But this system, they're labeled. So you're going to use some sealant and fill that void full of sealant and then push it on there. A couple of different ways you can further secure that. One of them is to drill holes, put pop rivets in, or you can use a crimping tool to pinch the sides in. So let's do that. Listen, I'm sorry about the dogs. I know, it's driving me insane too. So we're just going to fill our gap here with a sealant. And this just fits right on there. I mean, you may have to jimmy it a little bit, but I test fit it before all this, and it fits pretty good. The only little hiccup here is this little curve, but it's easy enough. Pretty pliable material. Alright, that's on there pretty tight. Put a few crimps on here to crimp it down. A lot easier said than done, huh? You don't want to crimp the hell out of this, I would imagine. Just a few of them. Permanently close it off. That should be good enough. So after you've done that, we're going to run a bead of this along the seam on the inside. just to further seal that joint. Just smooth it out with your finger. Alright, so that's installing an end cap. So we'll mount this piece up, and then we'll do a seam. On the next one, I'll show you how to do that. I'm sorry about the barking dogs. Trust me, you're not half as annoyed as I am with this crap. Never have a neighbor with beagles. Alright. A couple of different fastening systems for these K-type gutters. This is a hidden fastener I bought. I don't know. I just figured this would be the easiest. So I'm going to show you how this goes on there. Now, spacing is another crucial point here. And with this system, it really isn't going to be that big of an issue, I don't believe. Because there's not going to be a lot of debris in this. You know, the deck's pretty much going to filter that out. But that's how they're designed. This is going to hook up underneath the lip of the front of that. And then this little slot over here slides over the back of the gutter. And that's how you're going to screw it into the wood up there. So I think, from what I remember, the recommendations on the spacing for these was a maximum of 36 inches. That'd be an area that's not getting a lot of rain. If you get a lot of snow, heavy rains, you're going to want to do it like every 18 inches. I'm doing mine every 2, which is probably overkill. Because, again, mostly this is just going to be catching water. There shouldn't be any snow load or a lot of debris in it. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. So we got those in there. We're going to place these every 2 feet. And then we'll screw it in to the beam up top. Before you ask, yes, this is all OSHA approved process. That's Zeke. He said, we're A-okay. Put this one roughly here, based on our lines. Continue our slope. Piece is up. So we need to plan out this short section here. My downspout is going to start right here and run down that post. Now I've got to wrap the post, so I'm going to leave some space between the end and the post here. But anyway, I made a little mark here. We're going to cut that off. We'll put an end cap on this just like we did earlier. And then we'll go ahead and put that up and measure from this end to where this end will be. And then we'll cut our section to go in there. That should get us roughly where we want to be. Alright, it's up. Is it perfect? No. Is it going to work? Probably. So when you've got these non-continuous gutters like this, you got to join them. You buy these little seaming kits. It comes with 2 of these and some adhesive, or sorry, seam sealer. So basically you just wrap this around, and at the top, or the back rather, you fold this little tab over, And we'll run this seam sealer down this seam here. Get good coverage on that. We got 3 of those. And then we'll put the downspout on. Should be done for now. Got the downspout on. This is by no means a permanent solution. I'm just temporarily routing the water away from the patio until I can wrap these posts, at which point we'll have to put an elbow in there, bring it down, and get it more secure, tie it in with that. Now, why did I go with white over here? Because I'm going to wrap most of this in white. Probably PVC or this Trex brand fascia board, which I've used on the rest of the deck. This stuff right here, because that's going to also go on this section here, basically on the front and sides. We'll see. We're getting there. It's going a lot faster than I thought.